We are very excited to welcome Mr. Daymond from Sharktank USA come to us with us today right now.
The first question we want to ask you is, are you looking for an investment opportunity in Vietnam?
I'm always looking for investment opportunities. So it really all depends on not only the opportunity, but the entrepreneur, the person running the business. That's almost always more important than the opportunity.
Yeah. The second question is, would you think with becoming as one of the sharks appear in Shark Tank Vietnam in upcoming seasons?
I will leave that to the sharks and to the producers, but yes, that would be very interesting for me.
The first question by startups in Vietnam right now. Could you please join us?
You look skinnier than in the AC.
And what?
You look skinnier than I expected. Skinny.
Really? I need to lose some weight, but yes, thank you.
Okay, so I am one of the startup who got invested in season 1 in Vietnamese Shark Tank show, and I watch you.
How many seasons here now? 3?
Right now there are 3. So I
Congratulations.
Thank you. And I passed the due diligence of the shot, and I actually won the money.
You got the money?
Yeah, I got the money.
What a good.
Yeah, that's very good. But I watched you back at the time when you were first up in US, which is in 2009. And back at the time, what you share about the vision and what's behind the show is very different from what I experienced the past year. So my question is, what do you think about the fundamental difference between startup back then in 2009 and now in 2019? What is the difference? Industry overall?
No, excellent question. So in 2009, Instagram did not exist. And when we were doing the investments in 2009, the market crashed. And the main reason why people were coming to the show was because they had absolutely no place to receive any kind of funding. So at that point, we didn't have social media to do all the conversion, and there was no money in the market. We had very poor people at that time, not a good quality of entrepreneurs, because most of the smartest entrepreneurs, like in this room, would say, I don't know the show. The show initially was trying to take 5% of the ownership of the company in perpetuity, whether you got a deal or not. So we had poor quality of entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs with crazy ideas, entrepreneurs who need to put up their money. Today, the entrepreneurs that own the show know us, we don't know them. They've done $1 million, $2 million, $10 million in business. We know today that we can get our money back in 1 month just because of social media. If the entrepreneurs have some kind of technology or social media component to it, because of course the show is a commercial. So our money today is much safer than our money was 10 years ago. And so it's easier for us to invest in what we learn as a shark. And the reason why I'm going to say this to you today is because I'm not going to act like sharks. You know what? We grew with the show. Year 1, somebody would say, give me $500,000. I would give them the $500,000. But they may go and make a $100,000 website instead of a $1,000 Facebook page. They may buy all the inventory, they don't need it. Now, we're much smarter. We say, I'll close the deal with you, but show me your use of proceeds. And I'll give you the $500,000 in 3 installments, you promise you'll get here with the first 1/3 of the money? Show me. Then show me. Then show me. And to see what they do smarter. Also, we hired people. I hired a salesperson, I hired a licensing person, I hired a person who understands distribution, because I need to know what you were doing, and you need to know what I was doing. So we grew with the entrepreneurs the same way the entrepreneurs here will grow with the sharks. And we also started investing in things that are very small. I'm the #1 investor in Shark Tank, only because of one company. A company called Aqua's Socks. They sell socks. They started off doing, on the show, $600,000 a year. Now they're doing $200 million every single year. The reason why is because what we started to learn is it's the simplest things that make the most money. Socks, sponges, problem solvers that are just an improvement on what today's product is.
Hi John, thanks for coming.
Sure.
And John, again, my question is, what can we do for sustainable development of startup? How to not die in 3 years, to live longer? Just based on your experience, based on your vision, and could you list 3 main points, prevent things to for sustainable development?
Affordable steps. You have to take steps that you can afford. The #1 reason why startups fail is too much money.
Too much money.
Wow. Reason being is this. I'm talking dollars. You guys talk different. When you decide you want to open a company, you take a loan for $50,000. That's it, right? But you never sold anything. And when you do that, what happens is people take advantage of you and you make very costly mistakes. Instead of having 0 and learning and building like she did and she's doing with her community, and then keep catching up to the business. Right? So why don't you translate that at first for everybody? If you look at this, if you look at the facts, celebrities, athletes, and people who win big money, all of them are broke for 3 years after making that money. Why? Because they did not know how money operated. And if you look at Forbes or all the list of the wealthiest people in the world, 65 to 70% of those people started, they're self-made people, they started with 0 because they had nothing and they built a community. So the way that startups survive is they figure it out, they have 0. And in a country like Vietnam, where a lot of resources are limited, it's hard, but it's the #1 thing you need for success. I started with 0. In America, people of color I have no education, I have no family, and I'm a person of color. Very hard in America, but that's the thing that helped me get where I am.
At that time, we set for you a limit for you because our time is limited. So we based on the 0 first. We think that we have nothing. We start off, we try, we fail, we go, great, right? But we have limited time. So do you set for you, for yourself, for your vision, a limit to raise, not to fail anymore?
Well, because when I was a startup, I worked also. I worked for 5 years as a waiter. As a waiter in a restaurant. So, 12 hours a day, I worked as a waiter. And for another, 8 hours, I worked on Google. For 5 years, I only slept 4 hours a day. For 5 years. But the reason I did that is, as a waiter, that paid my bills to make sure I could pay my rent. And the other business, I worked. So what happened was the 12 hours as a waiter and the 8 hours of this started to become 12 hours of this and 8 hours of the waiter. But everybody who tells you go take a loan or go sell your house or do all that is wrong. Right? And that's what the sustainability of startups is, when they take affordable steps. Do you gamble?
Yeah.
What gave you life? Do you play blackjack?
Yeah.
You ready to play blackjack?
Yeah.
Alright. When I play blackjack, if I ain't never played it before, I don't go to the table that's $1,000 a hand first. I play $1,001 hands first. That I think everybody can get. Just please translate that.
I have business in education and training for young professionals in Vietnam. And we passed the first phase, and now we are in scale up. And we are trying a few ways to scale up. So for you, what is your opinion about some efficient ways to scale up a business, non-tech businesses now? That's the first question. And ways to launch new products. In the context that nowadays digital marketing is getting more and more competitive and costly. So do you think there are more traditional offline marketing ways, but done in a creative way that is still effective?
Okay, so the first question is, why doesn't the business still have, why is it a non-tech business, you're saying? I mean, I understand question 2 is how to scale it in technology or digital marketing. But question 1 is, why does it have a technical component to it?
Has, but I think the best way for in doing education is blended learning, and the core value, the core product is still offline courses combined with online material or online added value classrooms. So the main thing for me here is still opening new offline courses.
You want to? Well, I mean, I guess you can share with everybody our conversation. I don't want to. You want to translate it, or you want to just go forward? Even though you're drawing people to it from an offline course, the same way that you came here today, it was still a digital component to grab your attention, to make sure you knew that this was happening today. So no matter what, nobody wants to invest in something that does not have a digital component, because the biggest problem and why retailers are dying today is because they have no way to follow up with the customer. When I started, if I sold a shirt to a store and she bought it, I didn't know why she bought it. Did she buy it for her son, herself, as a gift? And why did she not buy it? Today, I always say you have to be one step away from the money. When I first sold it, I was 7 steps away. I made it, I sold it to a store, maybe a store put it on the racks. Maybe they didn't. Did a woman buy it? Did a man buy it? Did a kid buy it? So your digital course or your offline course, you need to be one step away. Say, something to you, and if you like it, you don't like it, you know, why you like it or not like it. Do you want to translate that for everybody first? So online, when you sell digitally, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, whatever the case is, or get somebody's email, you're one step away. I know you, you're following me, I sold you this. One step. If I put it in your curriculum in a classroom or something else, I have to wait for the buyer, the store to buy it. Then they have to put it on the rack. Then somebody has to decide they want it. Then they have to go to the cash register, and so many more steps. And today, the reason why I'm seeing the people of success is they're going right to the customer. And the customer is saying, I like it, I don't, or whatever the question may be. You understand?
You mean as close to the customer as possible?
Yes, exactly.
That's
Right.
like tech?
Right. And so when you now say about digital marketing, it's the same thing. There are so many different ways to market. Facebook, Instagram, billboards, magazines, television, radio. Not everything is going to work for each individual person. So, the best way to do this is, especially, are you on Facebook? So the only reason anybody's going to buy something is because you build up a community. You make them understand this is something of value. And if you are on Facebook, I like to teach my students, take out 10 different advertisements. You spend $100 on each one. And you can repeat this to everybody in 1 minute. You spend $100 on each one. And it's the same thing said in a different way. Right? It is, see this beautiful red dress she has? It is, did you ever see this red dress? Advertisement number 1. Advertisement number 2 is, can you believe how you would look in this red dress? Advertisement number 3 is, have you ever tried a red dress? And what you do is you do 10 of these at $100 a piece. And then you look and you see which one got 2 responses, 10 responses, 30 responses. When you see this one with 30 responses, you keep moving up. It's tested to build a community.
And so my question for you is, according to you, what makes a product or a service successful?
So like I told you, Bombas socks are my #1 investment. The socks have been around forever, ever. What makes it more important today? I'll tell you why. Because, like we talked about online, they went directly to the customer. They sell only to the customer. And at first, I didn't want to buy the sock company because I already sold it socks for food. I have a bunch of socks. Why would I buy another sock company? But they changed the way that business is being done, as I said. And make sure that you translate this if you can for everybody. I think it's a strong lesson I learned. Instead of when I used to sell socks to a store and be so many steps away from the money, they sold it directly to the customer. Also, every time they sell a pair of socks, they give away a pair of socks to homeless people. And I realized today's customer, the younger kids, they don't want at the end of the year to say they gave away a bunch of money to one organization. They want to say every time I purchase something, I gave to people that need. I either bought this and I cleaned up the ocean. I bought this and I gave socks to homeless people. I bought this and I did this. So it was the entrepreneur that decided I'm going to sell socks. I'm going to change 2 elements in it. I'm not going to sell it to the store. I'm selling directly to the person. And also there's a story behind it. So now when people go online and look at the company, kids, anybody here in this room can buy anything from anybody. People today want to know, what did you do for somebody when I bought from you? Because are you just taking my money? Or are you helping me? He asked me how important is marketing and branding, and I said, other than operating a company, it's probably the most important thing in regards to separating yourself from everybody else. You're never going to create anything new in this world. You're only going to create another way to deliver it, find another customer, you may make it lighter and faster, but there's nothing new. And the only thing that's going to get it to people's hands is your ability to market and brand it.